In today's Money Watch, we're focusing on tax filing and what to do with your refund. Tuesday, April 18th is the last day to file for most Americans. More than 80 million people have already filed and more than 59 million have received their refunds. The average tax refund this year is more than 11% lower than last year due to the termination of COVID-19 relief measures. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here to talk about it all. Jill, good to see you.
Good to be here.
All right, so if you're like me, it's less than 2 weeks to go and you haven't filed yet. What should people be thinking about? Where should they start?
Number one decision, do I file with a standard deduction or am I an itemizer? Standard deduction, it's a set amount. It's statutory, meaning it's in the law, and it goes up every year with inflation. Itemizing means you add up a bunch of different categories, state and local taxes, mortgage interest, charitable donations. If those total more than the standard deduction amount, then you're an itemizer. But that's pretty simple. It's just a list and a little bit of adding and subtracting.
And you're saying people focus on deductions, but claiming tax credits is the way to go.
Oh, my gosh. The tax credits are unbelievable. That's a dollar-for-dollar reduction in your tax bill. So some of the big ones that you've heard of, the Earned Income Tax Credit aimed at people who are mid to low earners, the Child Tax Credit. I know it's a little bit less than it was last year, but it's still very juicy. There's a Dependent and Child Tax Credit. There's a Savers Credit. There's a tax credit for people who help pay their kids' college expenses. These are vast numbers of dollars that the IRS says people leave on the table because they're not claiming them.
Oh, so important to really know where you can claim. What are some ways, though, that people can use a refund if they, in fact, are expecting a refund?
So we know the average refund amount is running at about $2,900. And frankly, gang, I have to go back to my boring old big three, and they're not boring, but we have got to get people to focus on using these dollars to beef up their emergency reserve fund, 6 to 12 months of your living expenses. You'll need that if things slow down in the economy, paying off your high interest debt, and then hopefully funding retirement to the best of your ability, especially if you work for a place that has a match.
So speaking of retirement, a lot of people use their refunds to invest in their IRAs or their Roth IRAs. For the people who don't know the difference, what is the difference?
When you look at a traditional retirement account, it means you're getting a tax deduction today for the money you put in that account. Later, when you take the money out at retirement, at maybe 59 and a half is the earliest, but the government forces you to take the money out in your 70s, that's when you have to pay taxes at whatever the tax rates are in the future. A Roth, you pay the tax that's due today. The money gets invested. When you take it out later, there's no tax due. Why is this so important? Because the vast majority of tax experts and economists believe tax rates are probably going higher than where they are today. It's just the most likely path.
What about the markets? Because, I mean, they are very volatile these days. But if you were to recommend areas to invest, where should they
Good question.
look? The most important thing is to have a game plan. If you've got the time to be able to withstand the ups and the downs, please, a nice diversified portfolio, some stocks, some bonds, some cash, not all eggs in one basket. Vlad, I know you're an adherent. So
know that.
and I'm feeling Natalie as well.
I do.
Just be really clear. You're going to have some bad times. Don't bail when things get hot.
Yes, absolutely.
And the crypto bros? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Jill Schlesinger, always great advice. Thank you very much. Coming up, we're going to have our talk of the table.
Today's Money Watch is sponsored by Edward Jones. Life is for living. Let's partner for all of it.